Good morning. I have just been to Buckingham Palace and accepted His Majesty the King's invitation to form a government. Our country is facing a profound economic crisis. Mistakes were made, not born of ill will or bad intentions. Quite the opposite, in fact. But mistakes nonetheless. I will place economic stability and confidence at the heart of this government's agenda.
My questions are about security breaches and the protection of our national security. They are questions to the Home Secretary, who was here just 5 minutes ago and who left. Yesterday, the Prime Minister promised integrity, professionalism and accountability. Yet they've discarded the ministerial code, reappointed someone who breached core professional standards and has now run away from basic accountability to this House.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday the Prime Minister stood on the steps of Downing Street and promised integrity, professionalism and accountability. But then, with his first act, he appointed a Home Secretary who was sacked by his predecessor a week ago for deliberately pinging around sensitive Home Office documents from her personal account.
I will always protect the most vulnerable. That is the values of our compassionate party.
Mr. Speaker, he says he'll protect the most vulnerable. Let's test that. The government currently allows very rich people to live here but register abroad for tax purposes. I don't need to explain to the Prime Minister how non-dom status works. He already knows all about that.
I am glad, Mr. Speaker, that the party opposite, the honourable gentleman, has finally realised that spending does need to be paid for.
He pretends he's on the side of working people, but in private he says something very different. Over the summer, he was secretly recorded at a garden party in Tunbridge Wells, boasting to a group of Tory members that he personally moved money away from deprived areas to wealthy places instead.
We are a government that will deliver for people across the United Kingdom. But Mr. Speaker, he mentioned the last few weeks. I am the first to admit that mistakes were made, and that's the reason I am standing here. Leadership is not selling fairy tales. It is confronting challenges, and that is the leadership the British people will get from this government.